I think there are a couple of main points that the consciousness debate kind of requires. One of the first ones is that really you can't have this top-down perspective and still call yourself rational or realistic, because if I have consciousness, then how did I get it if it didn't evolve from a lower species than me? And how would it be possible for of the entire tree of life for there to be only at that stage pre-humans, for there to be only one species that has the potential for this consciousness to arise in it? I think the notion is between two primary perspectives. One is that consciousness is universal, and the other is that consciousness is individual. And so whether or not the phenomenon is a mechanism or a kind of element or force of nature that is participating in the dance of life or not. As scientists and generally materialist views would have it, of course the consciousness must be explained or explainable in a materialistic, individualistic, separate, very border conscious construct. Of course it's going to be only human beings have it, or if human beings have it, it is because they have a complex brain and so forth, when in actuality the complexities of very basic life, or even your cellular level, would be impossible to function without a certain degree. Now, what I'm saying is not that that there is the same degree of consciousness involved at these levels, rather that it has been more fluidly integrated into the organism with evolution, to the point where, in my experience as a human being, and yours of course, the perspective, the immediate first-person perspective of consciousness is such that I identify with my consciousness. When I'm awake, I identify with my awakeness, with the consciousness that comes with it. Otherwise, let's say if I'm blacked out drunk, I'm not aware, I'm not there. It wasn't me. I didn't do those things. I was blacked out. And so these kinds of distinctions of being aware or not aware in the moment can lead or evince a kind of perspective that is more unitive, in the fact that it is not just your consciousness. It is something that is happening regardless of whether or not you're aware of it or not. And so it is something that it bears the question, can this reality be understood, or could this explanation function as a way to kind of unlock the potential for another human being to understand the unity that comes with reality, that comes with consciousness. And I think that it's demonstrable that when someone is less in tune with this unity of consciousness, they are more inclined to be aggressive, more inclined to be aggressive, more inclined to be agitated when provoked, or more inclined really just to be kind of a very easily affected, very easily affected. Now this is all stuff that if I were an atheist, I would call a bunch of bullshit, because it leads into the direction of a kind of God, of a kind of divine presence in the universe, and that is a brick wall for a lot of people to come up against, because they don't want there to be a divine presence. They don't want there to be they don't want the universe to be spiritual in any way, shape, or form. And this stems, I believe, from the ecology of the enlightenment period, because no more myths was the slogan at that time. But this is not a myth. This is the bare bones, the foundations of our reality. If consciousness is a unified field, or a kind of universal phenomenon, a natural element of the universe, a kind of part, maybe it could be called the player of this universal virtual reality role-playing game that we're experiencing. That's what I like to call it, to give kind of a understanding to other people, because what are we if not a representation of the universe? And what are video games if not a representation of us? And so if they are a representation of us, what are we if not players, avatars in this universal video game that we call reality? And so who is the player of you? Who is the player of me? Is it a different player, or is there one player? Is there a player playing me and another for the grass, or is there just one player? Is there just one consciousness that is intricately interacting with every single particular aspect of the universe, therefore unifying it in a subtle way? And of course, without our perception of the division, the illusion of separation falls as a house of cards, or the illusion of mirrors and smoke. So I'm just interested to know what the perspective of someone who doesn't agree with this has to say, because I think it's very fundamental that this concept be understood for us to be able to get to a ground of unity, not only for our spiritual lives, which I don't really consider to be as important at this moment, as for our rights. Our political unity is something that, if this kind of an idea can unify people in any way, shape, or form towards that as well, that is a huge step forwards in the current situation that this country and many others are in, which is basically the dominion, or this being succumbed to a global corporate empire. But that's another story for another video. In any case, I hope this debate or conversation continues. I enjoy conversations on the topic of consciousness. So with that, love and gratitude. Love and gratitude.